few seasons ago, I couldn't rank up and I was stuck. But then I learned these 4 simple things that helped me reach unreal rank every season from then on. The first and possibly the most crucial bit of advice is limit testing. Have you ever noticed how some players improve at a lightning pace while others struggle to make progress? The secret often lies in a concept called limit testing. So essentially, you keep pushing your boundaries, playing aggressively and experimenting with new strategies, and it's great for learning and you've probably heard about it before, but are you actually applying it to your own matches? Most people I see definitely aren't, and honestly, that makes sense. Limit testing can be intimidating. No matter how easy it might sound to just run it down and go for crazy plays, it's a lot more daunting when you actually want to win. You have worried teammates in your ears all the time and you don't want to throw away easy matches, so then what do? I think everyone intuitively understands that in order to improve, experimenting and taking control of your games by being aggressive is really important. You don't want to sit in the backseat of your own games. If you truly want to rank up, you need to be the one behind the steering wheel. However, that's where the big difference between improving and ranking up comes in, and it's a problem that you need to overcome. From an improvement standpoint, the only direction is up. If you're trying something new, you are learning. Lose a close game, you still probably learn something out of it. If you die because of a mistake, you can reflect on it. As long as you're trying, you're on the right track. The more you adjust your weaknesses, the faster you learn. Unfortunately, that same idea does not apply to ranking up. If you're adjusting a weakness and trying something you're bad at, you greatly increase your chances of failing and losing. If you lose a close game, you can see your ranked points going down and the distance to your goal decreasing. And if you die due to a mistake, it's going to frustrate you and you'll feel like your rank up is slowly slipping away. Sure, you might say, but in the long term, you need to improve to rank up. And that's true, you're right. However, it's not always that easy. While our logical, rational side of our brains might recognize we should focus on fixing weaknesses for long-term gains, our less rational emotional counterpart might be hard to control by the time you're 5 ranks deep and your rank has changed twice. So here's the solution. Step 1. You need to recognize that you want to improve, and that's testing your limits by trying new approaches and taking on risks is crucial to achieving that goal. And step 2 is a bit more difficult. It requires some self-knowledge and reflection to see which one of the 3 methods suit you the best. Personally, one method to overcome the improvement versus ranking up hurdle is to simply just do it and limit test anyway. Accept that you'll likely derank at first because you're learning new skills, but trust your rational side to acknowledge that over time you will improve and your rank will eventually follow. For some people this method works fine, but it doesn't work for everyone because staying always rational is tough. And if you're prone to lose your mind after a D rank or 2, you might want to look for other ways to achieve the same thing. And if you're really unsure about what you need to work on, another straightforward solution might just be to play casuals. There aren't any real stakes, so losing doesn't cost you anything, just your time. And teammates might still get upset if you lose a match, that is if you're playing squads, but the main conflict between improvement and ranking up is greatly reduced. However, there are some issues with this method. Opponents and teammates might not always care to try, just because it's a casual. Matchmaking can be really unpredictable, and you could develop a fear of queuing ranked if you avoid it for too long. That's where the third method comes in, using alt accounts. Having an alt account is basically a second account that's close to your own rank. That way you have matchmaking as close as possible to playing ranked on your main, but without the fear of losing your rank in progress. It's only fair to say this method also doesn't work for everyone. Not everyone has a second account, and some people might start to care about their alt as much as they do their main, which is a problem. But I just wanted to give you the option so you could find the method that works best for you. After you pick a method out of the 3 that you're comfortable with, step 3 is straightforward. Be aggressive, try to carry your matches, take risks, fail, and learn from it. Now the first tip to make ranking up easier with limit testing is a great start, but if you're really hardcore about improving at Fortnite, you're likely already doing that. Yeah, limit testing is super effective, but it might not be enough to carry you if you're making a really common mistake in people who are trying to improve. That's where the second tip to climbing comes in. Make sure that you set your focus right. Maybe you can relate to this, but when I was trying to climb, I absorbed every bit of knowledge I could find. I wanted nothing left on the table. I would know the exact amount of materials needed for each build, the timing of each edit, and exactly which weapon dealt the greatest damage, and details like that. So here's a quick question for you. How many materials does a high ground retake require? If you said around 100, that's right. But if you knew that answer immediately, you're probably also doing something wrong. Hear me out. If you're stuck in platinum rank, you shouldn't care about a silly bit of trivia like that. Frankly, you have much bigger problems to worry about, rather than concentrating on minor specifics. It's crucial to pinpoint your main weaknesses. Doing so requires honest self-assessment and a willingness to confront your own shortcomings head on. Ask yourself, what's the most efficient way to spend my time if I want to improve? The answer often leads to addressing one of your core weaknesses, which is really important. For low-ranked players, these weaknesses typically include fundamental mechanics. You might need to work on your aim, refine your building, or practice proper editing techniques. These core skills form the foundation of your gameplay and can have a massive impact on your performance in matches. Higher ranked players, however, might need to focus on a different set of challenges. If you've already climbed a good portion of the rank ladder, for example, let's say you're elite or champion, you may need to improve advanced aspects like overall decision making, learning how to not waste advantages, or getting better at reading enemies. After you find what you need to improve on, you can move on to step 2. Find a way to practice that skill and measure your progress. If you're looking to improve your aim, you can look at your KD and your KD only. But that isn't a great way to assess your progress, as it's way too inconsistent. Looking at metrics like how many targets you hit on bots in creative or what your score is for important clicking tasks on aim labs is going to be a much more consistent way to reflect on the same thing. So first, find what you need to work on and then find a way to practice and measure its effectiveness, and finally put in the work to see the results you're looking for. Now I want to be 100% honest. Beating your weaknesses isn't always fun. It's much more enjoyable to practice the things you're already good at. But as you know, if you want to see real improvement, you need to step out of your comfort zone. And there's a chance you already have a good idea of what your weaknesses are, but you might be avoiding them because they're frustrating to work on. Even if that describes you, give it a genuine shot by targeting your weaknesses and managing your time wisely. You'll see faster and more significant improvements in your gameplay. I kind of touched on why this third tip is a crucial factor, but having a mentor is going to be extremely important for Fortnite as well as just life in general. Whatever you're trying to improve at, having someone you trust to turn to with questions is invaluable. If it weren't for my own mentor, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you for watching, and goodbye from me.